Hey folks, it's time at Frugal Prepper. I'm out here in the garden, just taking a look at things this morning to see how they're looking. You can see the beans have really started to grow up their strings here. That's all good. I'll have green beans coming in here real soon. I've already harvested some squash off of these squash plants here, and I pruned them back quite a bit yesterday. I know it don't really look like it, but I actually pruned these back quite a bit. You want to keep the air flowing through them to keep the powdery mildew away, so you want to prune them. I got cucumbers. Happy. These are starting to wilt just a little bit, but I think that's just because we got so much rain yesterday and it's so hot and humid right now. I think once that soil dries out a little bit, they'll be fine. But let's see, I got this starting to grow over here to my beans. We got to take and redirect it here to this string. Hopefully we'll just put it over there by that string, and this little thing will actually move around slowly until it finds it and grabs a hold of it and climbs. But I just picked a few more cucumbers off of that. Here's the rest of the beans down through here. You can see I've had some bean beetles. It's been my experience every year I get some bean beetles, and they come and they eat some of the leaves. But once you get to this point in the beans, they're going to grow so fast that there's no way the bean beetles are going to eat them all, and you'll be just fine. I just let that go, and boom, I'll have beans growing, and I'll have more beans than I know what to do with here. So you see this right here. That's the startings of a potassium deficiency. So I just put my weekly feed down. Actually got a little behind on my weekly feeding because of the rain and everything, so that'll be fine. The rest of the leaves look perfectly good and healthy on it. So, and sometimes the plant just does that to a few of its leaves and you don't really know why. So onions are growing and bulbing out. They're happy onions. Corn is growing. The wind knocked this one over. I don't know if it's going to make it. I put a stake on it. We'll see. But the rest of this corn's looking pretty good. This corn doesn't get very tall. This one's already starting to tassel, so we're going to see what happens. You can see it's starting to grow some little ears down in here. So that's going to be a real short corn. This is my Asian baby corn. It has grown up. It's darn near to the top of the T-frames now. I'm waiting to see some ears come on that. They haven't yet, but they will. These are my peppers. I just picked a whole bunch of these peppers yesterday and put them in the dehydrator, so that's good. These are my eggplants. You can see some little eggplants starting on this one there, and there's just eggplants all down through here. But I have more eggplant than I can eat this year, I'm telling you. But yeah, I mean, it's just full of them all down through here. And these are my tomatoes. It's got to be 1,000 tomatoes here at least. I mean, they're just packed in here everywhere you look. There's tomatoes, more tomatoes, more tomatoes. So we're gonna have plenty of tomatoes. I need to get a couple more posts and tie some of these back. And then these are the tomatoes that the tube grubs got. Believe it or not, they're starting to recover, and they are growing some tomatoes too. So I'm not gonna have a complete loss there, and that's good. I'm happy with that. But that's how the garden's doing. Just letting things grow and keeping the weeds back. I just went through and pruned out the bottom of the beans so that none of the leaves are touching the ground anymore. And those are good and happy. So we're just gonna see what happens. Now on these Asian baby corns, a lot of these little tiny ones, they're just getting too shaded by the bigger ones. But when the bigger ones produce their corn and I strip them down, I'll pull that stalk out, and it'll probably give those a little more light to grow some more. But we're just gonna see what we can get. I might have planted that a little too close. But the other thing about planting them close is a lot of the storms around here, other gardens, I've seen the corn blown over, and mine stayed standing strong. So planting them close together helps prevent the wind damage, that's for sure. All right, that is how the garden is going. My raspberries are still growing over there too. But I'll talk to y'all later. It's Tom, your Frugal Prepper.